approach, but it was the exact catalyst that was required to stimulate the economy after the recession. Can anyone else think of any tactics or strategies the government can use to stimulate a failing economy? Anyone? Lindsey?
I think that if we had another recession or depression, we could have a stimulus program, like the last one we had, which did a lot to recover, but it should have done a whole lot more.
That's exactly right. And I completely agree, more could have been done to stimulate the economy. With the Recovery and the Reinvestment Act of 2009, we should have seen a more pronounced increase in GDP, but good example, Lindsey. Anyone else?
I don't agree. This idea that there might be some person or some group that would know the correct amount of money or the proper rate of interest or exactly how much needs to be pumped back into the economy is kind of presumptuous. Governments aren't supposed to run the economy. The people are supposed to run the economy.
Those ideas only represent the large and wealthy corporations. Before the collapse, we had what you're proposing, and the CEOs made and continue to make billions while the middle class is shrinking. Now we have this huge gap between the rich and the poor on levels that we have never seen before. We need more intervention.
That's a representation of class envy, which is also part of the problem. But the bigger elephant in the room is our reckless fiscal and monetary policy, which causes inflation, which is the hidden tax that is truly destroying the middle class. Our government is reaching record amounts of debt. And if we don't change our ways, then that will lead to the devaluation of the dollar and ultimately complete economic collapse.
I'm gonna have to side with Lindsey on this one. You can't bypass the government and the Fed. You especially can't leave them out of monetary policy. If you think that we as a populace can just stand back, bypass the government and the Fed and just have monetary policy set itself, that isn't gonna happen. Frankly, the philosophy that we can somehow avoid government intervention, that dates back 200 years.
Professor Williams, I'm not saying that we should go back to the way things were 200 years ago. We want to improve on what life was like back then. But it sounds to me like you want to go back 1,000 or 2,000 years, just as the Greeks and Romans and other civilizations were debasing their currency.
Oh, okay. I am not a proponent of the monetary policies of the Emperor Diocletian. Let's just get that clear, okay? What's your name again?
Fiona.
Fiona. But I am a proponent of the monetary policies that followed World War II. These policies, they